have a I don't have a horse in the Dominguez versus Shub race, and but Dominguez comes in here on a regular
Well,
basis.
he followed my show, I think, 4 weeks ago when he came in.
Yeah, and he comes in and he buys the time and he wants to get his message out. And on a regular basis, you could tell all these shoot people are lined up, and I'm okay with that because they can ask their question and move on. But it's kind of their voices I've never heard. It's obviously staged, and that's okay. And Roy Dominguez is used to that, and he handled it well. And one person who I was really disappointed in that would use it as a platform, because what it's meant for is when you have your show, people can call in and ask you a question or make a short comment. But these people were calling in and oh, well, I have real concerns about you and you should be ashamed. And some guy calling in about ammunition. And obviously they're going after him. And I understand that. But I think that people need to know that somebody comes in and buys a show, that's not your platform. Okay, we take class. If you want to call in and rip on Roy Dominguez for half an hour, just come in and pay the money.
Yeah.
And I'll let you rip on him.
Yeah.
But you're not going to use his show as your platform. And they had done several of them, and I'm like, great. I see what the Shub faction is doing, and that's politics. But one woman called in and started complaining about a mouse in the dog food at the animal shelter. And she started going on about Dominguez should be ashamed of himself and this, and I was like, are you kidding me? You guys don't get the point here. I mean, if you want to come in and rip on Roy Dominguez, just come in and do it, but don't use his time.
Well, I think Sheriff Roy, didn't he? I think he brought in the no-kill at the
did he? Yeah, he talked about that yesterday. He brought in the no-kill, and I'm sure Sheriff Roy did a lot of good things in his 8 years and a lot of things that he would like to have done differently. Same thing with Shub, whom I've known way longer than Roy, and many of his supporters. And it's kind of an ugly race, as you well know.
I know some of them are. I admire people that have been in politics. For the longer you've been in politics, the more enemies you're going to make, and the more you're going to get ripped on any show. I mean, people that are running in politics for the first time or haven't been around for a long time, their shows usually go pretty smooth. But when you get the guys that have been around forever and they come on the show and they know they're going to get nailed, and they still go through with it. So I'd really, another one too, George Van Til. I know when he comes on sometimes gets really annihilated on the radio shows too. But George has been around for a long time. He's made friends, but he's made enemies too, and those are the ones that come out and try to get you. You could do something great for a person. They always talk about it around election time. If you do something nice, you fix somebody's hole in front of their house or something like that. If it's good, and if they get around to it, maybe they'll come out and vote for you. But if somebody calls you to do something and you don't do it, they will circle that date, election day, and they will make 100% sure that they're going to come out and vote against you. So I mean, all the nice things you do, sometimes, it works out. But if you do one thing bad, they're gonna crucify you on it. So.
And that's the nature of holding our elected officials accountable.
Yep.
Hey, we got a couple of people already on the line. Why don't we take them? 219-845-1100. Let's go to Dave from Highland on line 3. Hey, Dave, how you been?
Hi, Bernie. Doing very well, thank you. And Bernie, it's a lot easier when you run unopposed, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sure is.
It gets rid of a lot of the mud and the ugliness.
Yes.
Hey, I'm going to ask a couple questions, and then I'm going to hang up and listen to you. One, do you believe in being an official? Do you believe, and would you like to see term limitations? Now, term limitations is one. It's going to hurt somebody that's good, that does a great job, but it's also going to protect us long term from people that are not doing such a good job. So I'm a big believer in term limitations. I'd like to hear your comments, and I'd also like a thumbnail sketch on what happened during the Highland Democratic Precinct meeting.
All right, thanks. Hang up and listen.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, term limitations.
Term limitations. Yeah, I've always been a believer in term limitations. I mean, I'm not sure where you would cut it off at 2 or 3, just because after you've been in a certain position for such a long time, I think you don't come up with new ideas as often as a person that is trying to run for the office would. Maybe you get a little stale, you get complacent. I'm not sure what it is, but I think you always look for new ideas. I think a good example of that was when I was coaching track and cross country. I was there doing that for 20 years, And as I look back at it, I noticed that, the last 5 or 6 years, it's all been pretty much just the same as one year after another, whereas my first couple years, I had all these great ideas of what to do, how to motivate kids and things like that. And I really think the last few years I was coaching track and cross country that I just got kind of complacent and didn't really come up with a lot of new ideas. And I think a lot of that can be used for politics too, for people being in office too long, making the same friends or whatever, the same connections, and just not getting things done like a new person would, being more aggressive, being a new politician or a new coach or however you want to use it. The second part was I brought the results here, Dave, from the Highland vote that was last week with the precinct. I think we had four sections that ran. I'm just trying to, off the top of my head here. I know Michelle Feynman.
All right, hold on a second. What group is that? What Michelle Feynman is running?
For endorsing, Michelle is running county recorder, I want to say. I don't want to mess these things up. Michelle's like my best friend in the world, and it's like I always forget her job title, but I think it's county recorder. You would know, wouldn't you?
I'm going to let you hang out there for the dry, okay?
Thanks for that, Michelle. I'll keep my phone here because she'll probably send me a text saying you
Feynman
idiot.
was texting me during the finals of the Bowman game, and she was looking for our WJOB booth. She was texting me during the game, and she couldn't find it. I didn't know where you guys were. I was up in Wisconsin, but Michelle Feynman, what?
24-0.
Over her opponent?
Yeah, opponents. I think she's got a couple in there.
Yeah, 20.
2 or 3.
All right, and then what else?
Rich Novak, who is also my sponsor today, and I will get to Rich here in a little bit. Rich got 18 votes, which was more than the 3/4 needed. His opponents got 4 and 2, respectfully.
And what is he running for?
Rich Novak is running for my county commissioner, right? Third ward, 3rd section.
I think it's county
Okay.
commissioner, but
I
wasn't he North Township Trustee Board
Yeah,
member?
he still is.
Yeah, he still is. Now, they're not running this time, are they? I don't think they are.
No.
Okay, yeah, so he's running for commissioner, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what else?
And John Garcia, surveyor. I think that was 20-4.
So wait a second. John Garcia 20 and George Van Til 4. Now, that's interesting. George Van Til's from Highland, right?
Yes.
And he
lives in Maryville now.
He lives in Maryville now, and John Garcia's from Highland, so he still lives there and he's got kids in the high school and so forth. So I guess that makes a little bit of sense. Now, was there any controversy over that one?
Yes, I was going to ask you about that. George started out his 5-minute speech. We gave each candidate 5 minutes to talk, and he was saying something about that he heard on WJOB that the vote was in already at 25-5 against him. I don't know, was that on your show, or I don't even know where that came from.